Last year, the most powerful people in technology told you in plain language that artificial intelligence was coming for your job. Whole categories of work gone. This year, quietly, those same companies started hiring again. Amazon cut about 16,000 people, leaned hard into the story that AI was making them lean and efficient, and then turned right around and opened 11,000 new roles for juniors and interns. And the executives running Amazon's cloud business explained why he wanted all that young, green talent in the building. His words: they come in with an energy and an excitement, a new view on things. So, which is it? Was this the robot apocalypse we were all promised, or was that always a story somebody was selling you? Because both of those things can't be true at the same time. I want to be useful to one person in particular here. If you run a business, or if you're about to, stay with me, because this whiplash is not just gossip about billionaires. The swing from everyone is getting replaced to, wait, we're hiring again, is about to cost you real money if you believe either version of it. I've spent 30 years building things, and I use these AI tools every single day. So let me walk you through what actually happened. Here's what I'm going to show you. First, the failures are real. They're kind of spectacular, and we should look at them honestly. Second, here's the connection I want you to see. The same people who sold you the fear are now the ones selling you the relief. And the story follows their money every time. And by the end, you'll be able to watch any of these announcements from either direction and know how much of your business to bet on it, which is close to none. And I'm not burying the real answer inside some course or a membership site you have to buy your way into. Everything's right here, the whole thing, because I genuinely want you to walk away sharper than the headlines you've been reading. I've got a book and a newsletter, and I'll mention them exactly once at the very end, but you won't need either one to get everything that matters in the next 10 minutes. So let's start with the failures, because they earned every bit of the mockery. Take Klarna, the buy now, pay later company. They proudly handed something like 700 customer service jobs to an AI chatbot. Efficiency, they said, the future. And then customer satisfaction fell off a cliff. The answers came back wrong or cold, and Klarna quietly started hiring humans back into a blended model where an actual person is reachable again when the bot gets stuck. And then there's Duolingo, the language app, which announced to the world that it was now, quote, AI first, and would stop leaning on human contractors for anything the machine could do. The internet didn't take it well. A few weeks later, the public tone had shifted to more or less, wait, please come back. IBM, Tesla's robot-heavy factories, the fast food drive-thrus that put bacon on a stranger's ice cream, same arc, over and over and over. And once you've seen it enough times, you notice every one of these failures has exactly the same shape. The AI walks in and genuinely does a big chunk of the job. Call it 60%, the repeatable, predictable part. Then it hits the other 40% and it faceplants, because that 40% was never the typing. It was the judgment. Knowing this customer is actually furious and needs a manager. Knowing this invoice looks wrong, even though the math adds up. Hold on to that 60-40 split, because it's the key to the whole thing, and we'll come right back to it. But first, I have to complicate the tidy little story you might be forming, the one where AI simply failed and everybody learned a lesson, because there's a bigger question sitting underneath all of this, and it's uncomfortable. Was it ever really about AI at all? Rewind to 2020 and 2021. Money was nearly free. Everyone was locked inside ordering everything online, and the tech companies went on a hiring binge like nothing we've ever seen. They massively overhired. Then the world reopened, interest rates climbed, and all those extra people suddenly looked expensive. The layoffs that followed were, in large part a correction for that binge. They were coming no matter what any chatbot could or couldn't do. But think about the two ways a chief executive can explain cutting 10,000 people. Option one, we hired badly. We got over our skis and now we're cleaning up our own mess. Option two, we're riding an artificial intelligence wave so powerful that we simply don't need as many humans anymore. One of those tanks your stock price. The other one pumps it. So, guess which label they reached for. And meanwhile, the actual unemployment rate barely moved from about 3.9% to 4.3%. And watch what these companies do, not what they say. The same Amazon that framed its cuts around AI efficiency was, in that very same sketch, bringing in thousands of skilled engineers on work visas and, as we started with, is now hiring 11,000 juniors and interns. If the machines were really doing the work, you wouldn't need to import thousands of engineers and grow your entry-level ranks at the same time. The actions and the announcements just don't match up. Now, the full forensic case for all of that, the visa data, the stock pops the day layoffs get announced, the accounting games, and honestly, a whole video on its own, and it's the very next one I'm making. For today, just sit with this. AI was often simply the most flattering explanation available for a decision the company had already made. The label was doing work the technology wasn't. Okay, so here's the turn, and it's the part that genuinely made me sit up. The very same people who spent last year warning that AI was about to flatten the entire workforce have, over just the last few months, quietly changed their tune. Nearly all of them, almost in unison, and the timing of it tells you everything you need to know. Sam Altman, who runs OpenAI, spent a year warning that whole job categories would vanish. Recently, he said he was, quote, delighted to be wrong. Dario Amodei, who runs Anthropic, had said as much as half of all entry-level, white-collar jobs could disappear, with unemployment as high as 20%. He's been busy softening that into a sunnier story about AI making everyone more productive. And Elon Musk went from AI will hit jobs like lightning to barely paraphrasing, work will soon be optional, like growing your own vegetables for fun. So why the sudden group hug? Follow the money. Last year, doom was the product. If your AI is so powerful it could end civilization, then it's certainly powerful enough to justify a subscription and a valuation with an awful lot of zeros on it. Fear sold the software, and it floated the private money. But now these same companies are lining up to go public. Anthropic just filed the confidential paperwork for a stock offering. And selling stock to the public changes the math completely. As one PR strategist put it, you can't go to the public market selling societal collapse. Nobody lines up to buy shares in the apocalypse. So the story had to flip. Doom raised the private money. Optimism sells the public offering. The narrative didn't change because the facts on the ground changed. It changed because what these people needed to sell you changed. So here's a simple test I now run on every one of these announcements, and I hand it to you to keep. Ask one question. Who benefits if I believe this? If the answer is the company making the claim, slow down. If the answer is a company with a stock offering 6 months away, slow all the way down. That one question would have saved a lot of people a lot of grief in both directions this whole cycle. Because none of this is actually new. We've just never seen it run at this scale before. This is P.T. Barnum with a server farm. The same showmanship that packed circus tents 100 years ago, the grand claim you can't check until it's too late to matter, now wrapped around a genuinely useful technology and pointed first at your fears and then, when it became convenient, at your hopes. The tool is real, but the show around it is a performance. So strip the show away, and here's what's actually true. The boring, useful middle. AI is genuinely good at tasks. It's not replacing jobs. And those two are completely different things. A job is a bundle of tasks, plus judgment, plus context, plus relationships. AI can take a real bite out of the tasks. It falls apart on all the rest. Remember that 60-40 split? That's it. That's the entire lesson hiding under a full year of noise. And that leftover 40%, the judgment and the context, is almost always the exact thing you were paying that person for. It's the veteran who knows which client disputes every invoice and which vendor always ships late in December. You can't download that. Ford learned it the expensive way. They replaced experienced engineers with AI, became the most recalled car maker in America, and then quietly hired around 350 of those veterans back. I made a whole video on that one, same lesson at company scale. And Ford isn't some fluke. The staffing firm Robert Half found that nearly a third of companies that cut jobs for AI have already rehired for the very same roles. The research firm Gartner expects at least half of them to by 2027. Another survey found that 55% of the executives who replaced people with AI already regret the decision. That's not a technology failing, that's a story failing, and the bill for having believed it coming due. So here's what all this means for you. The person actually running something. Don't run your business on Silicon Valley's mood swings. Last year's panic and this year's relief were both performances, staged by people whose incentives have nothing whatsoever to do with your shop. The doom was never your operating plan, and neither is the walkback. Your operating plan is your own numbers and the plain reality of what this tool can and cannot do at your desk. And the rule itself is simple enough to say in a single breath. Hand the machine the bounded repeatable task. Keep a human on anything that needs judgment, real context, or a relationship. Augment your people. Don't try to replace them. Now, how to actually decide which task goes where, one by one, without setting fire to a pile of money finding out the hard way, that's its own piece, and it's the one coming after next. Today, I just want the mood swings to stop steering you. Because the deeper reason the replacement bet keeps failing is worth saying plainly. The thing that makes your best people valuable was never the part a machine could copy. It's the context they carry around in their heads, built up over years, that isn't written down anywhere. A model will hand you a competent first draft of almost anything in seconds. What it can't do is whether that draft is right for your situation, because it never once has been in your situation. So, let me ask you something, and I would genuinely like the answer down in the comments. What did your company or a company you deal with blame on AI that pretty clearly was not AI? The layoff that was really just a bad year, the chatbot that quietly replaced a person who actually used to help you. Tell me the story. And if you think I'm being far too cynical about all of this, hey, say that too. I might be wrong about some of it, and the comments are where I find out. I'm Dave Saunders. I write about building real businesses in a world absolutely full of noise in my book and in my weekly newsletter, The Build. If this gave you a sharper way to read the next big announcement, whatever direction it swings, subscribe because there's a new one of these every week.